Okay, hello again. It is just about 11 o'clock on March 11th. I got to come out and work on the Mustang a little bit for Rocky Mountain Raceweek. Thanks to my wife Allison and my son James for letting me do this a little bit here tonight. But the update for today, most of the work that I did was mounting the transmission cooler here at the back of the car. It's a remote cooler with its own fan made by Derale. I don't remember which one it is, but it's in the middle of their heavier duty ones. And then ran some wiring, worked on some wiring loom for the first time in my life. I'm so used to just drilling a hole, running a whatever color wire through it just to get power and ground to something to turn a fan on or whatever the case might be. So this is me trying to go kind of the next step and not only making things disconnectable if I need it, but also wrapping wires in wire loom, putting grommets in the holes that I drill so I don't cut wires, and trying to be a little more organized. It's not perfect, but I've made some stuff. For me, it's pretty good. Anyway, so on the car, we've got battery stuff, again, passenger side in the trunk. We've got fuel cells going to go where the spare tire used to be, and hence the cutout, if you can see it. And then on the driver's side, we've got some leftover wiring stuff up there, but I don't know if you can, I'll flip the camera around in a minute and you'll be able to see it. But on the driver's side, underneath on the frame rail and part of the spare tire well, I've got the transmission cooler mounted. It's a pretty decent one, kind of mid-range, made by Derale. It's got its own cooling fan and shroud. So tonight I worked on building the mounts, welding them to the frame rail, running wire loom, wrapping wires, stuff I've never done before, using grommets and holes, all sorts of nice things that I've never done before, in an effort to make this not a halfway built, sketchy, dangerous, gonna leave me stranded somewhere build. No guarantees with that, but that's the effort. Okay, so let me switch things around here. Okay, I'll turn the light on. All right, so through the rear firewall in the trunk, I've got my power wire my activation wire for my fuel pump, which sits right under here. The wiring's going to come up probably here or somewhere similar. I don't really remember. I'll put another grommet in there before it, but I have a MagnaFuel dual relay setup coming that I'll probably mount to the roll bar, kind of like I did the ground. I don't know. Doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, I have to put some wire loom wrapper on that thing, keep it a little more protected. And then I've got my transmission cooler line, or wire, power wire, coming in over here. It wasn't quite long enough, so I had to extend it just a little bit, but little grommet there. I'm not sure what I'm actually going to do with the wire yet. I may put some little nylon hold downs just to keep it for sure out of the way, but I really don't know how this is going to end up getting packed and stuff for race week, so I thought I'd just leave it flexible for now. Anyway, so underneath, go. I get the old creeper here. James's creeper, actually. Thanks, James. I have one in the garage that I never put together, but this one works pretty good. Okay, so turn my light off. Nope, I need the light. Okay, so I don't remember, like I said, which model Derale this is. Let me back out the zoom a little bit. But pretty peppy fan overall, and it's a really thick core here compared to a lot of the transmission coolers that I've had in the past. I had to make a couple brackets out of old exhaust hanger that I had laying around, and I have not cleaned up any welds, anything. This is just how it is. It's ugly, but it is super solid. I guess I gotta be careful doing that. I did my own wire loom on this stuff, try to keep it wrapped a little bit and protected. Here's the power wire coming in from the back, from the trunk. My ground I split off. And then this is going to use 6AN fittings going all the way up to the transmission, and I'll probably run that. Oops, let's see. I've already got my fuel pump and filter set up here, and so I'm thinking I'll just wrap the lines around the sump for, let me back this out a little bit, around the sump for the fuel cell, and then over to just, that way I can just connect all of them and run them similarly on up to the front of the car, where these will tie into the transmission at that point. I do have a thermostat, not the one that came with Derale. I read a bunch of bad reviews on that, so I've got to finish this, but this, for wiring, this worked out for me. This is a 150 or 60 degree thermostat, I don't remember, one of the two, that will activate the fans. I'll turn the master switch on inside, and then this thing will control it on and off. It'll complete the little circuit there once it gets warm enough. If I don't like that, or if it's not working, I have these wires set up so that I think right here I can just cut my electrical tape, my wrapper, and I can connect the two wires directly and control it fully from the switch in the front. I don't know that I'll need to do that, but just in case something happens with the thermostat and it's not working right, so try to give myself some room for error there. But long enough so that this is going to be my inlet side down here, long enough so that I can put it wherever I want, out of the way of the sump, something like that, and that should work out pretty good. So that took up most of my time, and super solid. It's really a strong fan. I did hot wire it real quick just to test it, and it moves a lot of air, so that's good. And it's got room up here to move air. That was another thing I wanted. And I don't think I'll get too much. I'll probably get a little bit of stuff on it from burnouts, but you can see most of it stops before it quite gets over to the cooler, so I think it should be fine. Exciting stuff. It's the little steps that feel good. Oh, see if I can get up here. That is the update for today. Thanks for watching and keeping up, and we're just cruising along in the garage by myself, figuring stuff out as I go. Anyway, thanks again to Allison and James. Thank you to Bobby and Dana. And thank you to my mom and dad, Corky and Chris, for they're going to be helping me along, and they're cheering me along as we're getting through this and as we get closer to race week and everything. So, fun stuff. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.